Hello, Cave Dweller, here I am. I'm here, you are there, we are together once again. Everybody, take a break with Disco Jesus, the glass that's meant to hold a candle that you purchased in the local supermercado. This is a painting. These are the devotional candles. Let's light the devotional candles. Signor Dulac, please make us as powerful as King Arthur and deliver unto us an Excalibur. Saint Expedite, this red candle is for you, Daddy-O. Thank you for doing your thing and bringing us into a mode where we do it now and stop procrastinating. Help us take advantage of the situation as it is. Team Cave Dweller, how are you? I bought this coffee way south of here at a place called He Brew. It's practically a roadside attraction. I was looking for a roadside attraction. I was looking for the Golden Pyramid. There's a Golden Pyramid in Ilinios, just over the border. And it's Kenosha, the city of Kenosha, where Revision Gallery is, where I am streaming from, is on the border of Wisconsin and Ilinios. And I thought, I'll check out the pyramid. I've never actually been in. You can see it from the freeway as you shoot past on your way to Chicago. I took the excursion, saw it, totally blocked off and closed. It's a roadside attraction. It's got a gigantic parking lot. It's not as cool as you might think, but there's a hilarious cement fence with hieroglyphics painted on it, and yet the cement is crumbling, exposing the rebar. It's pretty great. On the way back, I realized, hey, I'm in Zion, Ilinios. And Zion, Ilinios, Zion is not only a dry city, no alcohol, but it's a utopian city started by missionaries. It was supposed to be a light on the hill. Many of these communities started in America in the late 1800s. Zion, Ilinios is one of them. And the church that was started blew up when there was some shenanigans going on, of course, as usual, in these kind of power structures. The people at the top can't take it. And their religious intent meets their power intent, and the two collide and everything crumbles. Well, one of the deacons from this church, it's the original church that was supposed to run the city on the hill, the utopian godly city, moved off to bought a house down the block and started the Zion Faith Homes. And the Zion Faith Homes experienced miracles at the time during the Depression. There's stories of the women that, well, first of all, it's a self-sustaining community as much as possible. They garden, they freeze, they can, they bake bread, wash their clothes, hang it out on the dry. It's really old school. Or it was. I don't know if it still is. And it's fundamentalist in its Pentecostalism. All the women have to wear dresses, right? Long dresses. So they experienced miracles. They called it an indwelling of the Holy Spirit, where you can use the word possession. Holy Spirit comes in and suddenly you're superhuman. You can take bread out of the oven without mitts. You can go outside and hang your laundry without a jacket because in the middle of January because you don't feel the cold. You can take boiling eggs out of the water. With that, of course, was the peace of the presence of God. 30 years later, there was a guy there named Rex Andrews who had a crisis where he ran off with a woman. He was an elder there. He ran off with a woman, went to California, lived there for about a decade, and then came back. And they took him back in, even though he had this sexual misconduct charge against him in the Christian books and the law books at the time. And he received a prophetic writings from the Lord, and he delivered these to the Zion Faith Homes, and these are known as the Meditations in Revelation and what the Bible teaches about mercy. And more, and then they sent church plants to other states, other cities in Wisconsin, one of which is in Milwaukee, where I wasted my youth. My 20s were wasted there at this place, which eventually blew up. These places always blow up because people don't understand how to be human when they want to be holy. It's a conundrum, and you just can't do it. You have to be human. And these clubs, they become clubs, and there's no deviation, and you can't escape, and it becomes a cage. And if something comes to break the cage, everything flies apart. Well, anyway, so I went down there to design faith homes because these faith homes were important to me for a time. I stayed there at them, where the birth of the miracles were, and it wasn't anything special. I was a little bit disappointed. The apple trees were gone. I didn't feel a surge of nostalgia. It was disappointing. But then I got this coffee at Hebrew Cafe on the way home on Sheridan Road. This Revision Galleries on Sheridan Road. Excuse me, I just popped this canvas wrapper. Revision Galleries on Sheridan Road. This is like 15 minutes away. That's south. I'm walking up to the place, and this woman comes running out, and she says, "Drive-through only, drive-through only." I'm like, "Well, can I walk through the drive-through?" "Yeah, you can do that." So I'm walking through the drive-through, and she's just all business, all facts. "What can I get you?" "Coffee." "What size?" "Small." "Cream and sugar?" "Nope, just black." And she shuts the door on me. She shuts the drive-through window. Shink! I tried to start a conversation. I tried to say, "Hey, thanks for running out to meet me." And nope, no conversation. Just... It was kind of funny in a sad way. Today, I'm going to work on this character of mine. There it is. The skunk in a suit. And I really like the guy with the big face, too. In fact, I might make that a picture. It looks like there's something going on there. Looks like we have a top panel with the skunk meeting the guy with the mask. And then in panel number 2, the skunk is wearing a suit and the guy with the mask has a big face. What's on this page? All right, on the bottom we see a skunk down here, and then some faces I was drawing. I don't think those are from observation. I always think that I can't draw, but then I see a page of drawings like this, and I'm like, well, those aren't bad. For being non-observational drawings, there was a time when I could only draw, I could only draw this for a time. Let's use the back. This is how I learned to draw. I opened up one of my mom's Woman's Day magazines, and there was this cartoon in there. All the cartoons in there looked the same. There was one or two with the same guy, but all the characters had a face that went like this: forehead, nose, lip, mouth, chin. And this puzzle-shaped 2 bumps. I'm like, whoa, I can do that. I can draw a face. And it took years and then later I've incorporated this into the Peg Leg Monkey. The bump, that's almost phallic right there. But anyway, the ear bump, it's a series of 3 bumps. The ear bump goes around the thing, and then you put the hair around it. But these are little cartoonist workarounds, I guess. I don't recommend them because it took me decades it took me all year in high school to go from, and then you have the front face, which is the nose like this. It took me all year to go from there and there to a 3/4 view, which I guess would be like this. Without the 3/4 view, you can't draw. I mean, it's just impossible. You should just give it up. Don't even bother. Don't waste my time if you can't do a 3/4 view. That's what brings your drawing to life. Anyway, that's how I learned to draw. I forgot why I brought it up. Let us begin. I'm going to put this skunk on there. I'm going to use my pencil because I don't have any charcoal. It was recommended to me not to use pencil as an underdrawing for a acrylic painting because the acrylic doesn't adhere to it, and so you'll always have this spot in your painting, these lines in your painting that are slippery to the acrylic, and it could peel off. It's not the worst thing in the world, I guess, but I would recommend avoiding that. But really, does it matter? It will last 100 years, and if it goes beyond that, hey, bonus. It's not going to last 1,000 years like our classic works of art that are painted in oil because acrylic melts. It's not stable. I'm telling you, man, it's not stable. It's not going to last forever. Look at this. This is a pile of acrylic that I peeled off of my palette, and I just crumbled it up, and already it's adhering to itself. Well, it's not really adhering to itself, but acrylic does adhere to itself because it melts, because it's unstable. And I digress by repeating myself. Let's get this skunk down. I like this picture of him. I wanted to put him with the pig-leg monkey here, but I like that guy. Oh, hey, in fact, okay, I'm just going to paint straight from the drawing. Can you even make that out? Not really. But I'm going to just be bold. And this is something I never do. Usually I start with lines and then color them in. This I'm going to start with colors and then line them in. So I will make his face orange. And I'm going to use water because... Ooh, I forgot to wash my brushes. If you forget to wash your brushes, if you just rinse them out in your pot of water, you don't get all the acrylic out and then they get crunchy. Typically, it doesn't ruin your brush. Oops, I shouldn't be pinching it like that. Okay, well, anyway, let's do it. It's rainy out today. It's rainy season. This is Milwaukee monsoon season. So by adding, I love it when I add this much water, it beads up, and I really love that look. I'd bring you closer so you could see it closer, but I'm not using a real camera. I'm actually using a computer. Wow, that is bright. Okay. I'm live at Revision Gallery. You can come by and visit if you are so inclined. Come by and visit. Say howdy do. Howdy do. Hey, you know what I'm going to do? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to keep track of the things I talk about so I have something to write on recap. What did I talk about? Golden Pyramid. Zion. Faith Holmes. And graphite. Non-Archival. Acrylic. And what is this? Oh, beginning with color. Table of contents, which is what I'm doing now. Every day, it's better and better. You know what, Cave Dweller? This is where we are. Wait. We started here. That was when I started talking. We're probably here now. But when we get to here, I'll probably ignore it. And then when we get to here, we'll be done. I'm only going to do 45 minutes because, Team Cave Dweller, if I edit this, editing an hour is overwhelming. It's just too much. It's just too... Look how it drips. This is the trouble with painting with... Well, this is the trouble with automatic light sensing equipment, and the trouble with painting with a lot of water is that it runs. There's true problems going on. You can't see what I'm doing, and it's running. So I just got to work. I'm dawdling and putzing around now because I want to avoid the painting. Okay, this is a black shirt. Let's put that in. Use burnt umber because I need to use up my burnt umber because this tube is breaking. I cleaned out this cap too, and I just put it in the water for now. Okay, so okay. BM1 Benjamin, that's my impression. BM1 Benjamin was a bosun mate who knew everything. A guy in the Navy, we would have called him shit hot. He was the best. But he couldn't speak or pronounce words very well, and so his options in life were limited. Let's see here, we got... Okay, so he's got his ear comes off the top of his head. This is brilliant. He's got a small neck. Idealized body. Interesting. I like this character. Oh, this is what we're going to do in 15 minutes. We're going to have an anime update. I'm telling you, team, I can't get enough of it. We'll talk about it in 15 minutes. Right now, you can barely see what's happening here. I'm putting in his shirt. This is what we'll do. Yeah. This is what we call shade. Still too bright? Let's do this one. Slightly better, but it's not that much better because the light meter just adjusts and still blows out this white canvas. That's weird. I didn't think it was going to do that. All right. You work with what you got. All right, his shirt is peeled up a little bit there. And his pants come straight leg down. Love this straight line. Wow, I really like this. Drawing. When I try to recreate a sketchbook drawing, it just never works out. Look, it's all maladjusted here, and there's nothing I can do about that. I mean, I could painstakingly correct it, but there's no way in hell I'm doing that. I got a text from my buddy and lawyer, Robert Arthur,
attorney at law,
and he's been observing my, he called this he didn't call it a blog or a vlog, what did he call it? Podcast? My live streams and my paintings. He's like, I like what you're doing. It's good to hear your natural voice. I don't know what that means. So he's been, all my, like, Skrauss Speaks You Listen, that's my fake voice? I don't get it. What's going on, man? I don't know. I can't explain it. This is not as good as the original. Big old mouth. I was thinking of a Jack Kirby mouth here when I drew this sketch. Can you see him yet? Is he coming in? Yeah, he's coming in. That light spot is actually at the bottom of his face. And the arm comes straight out. Oh, this is what I'm doing wrong. Okay. I guess I am correcting it. Typically, I don't do any corrections. I guess I'm maturing as an artist. One reason I never became a commercial artist is because I could not stand the idea of, and a cartoonist, and in fact, a professional artist, all of the above. It's because I can't stand the idea of doing things twice. It makes me crazy. As soon as it comes into refining something or rewriting or scrapping and starting over, I can't do it. I don't have the guts. Oh, help me, Disco Jesus. Oh, my God. It's overwhelming and unnerving. Thank you, Hebrew Cafe, for this coffee, which is adequate. Senor Guadalupe, Senor Dulac, make my Excalibur the Excalibur of doing things correctly. Oh my goodness. Cave Dweller, just the thought of doing things twice. I can't even describe it. But apparently it doesn't bother me as much anymore because here I am doing it over. So you see we got, I guess you can't see, but over here well, okay, never mind. Why talk about it if you can't see it? His sleeve goes directly into his traps, which go to his waist, which goes straight down his leg in this drawing. And this leg goes up. There's a straight line, comes down. It's got pants and a shirt. Okay, we got it now. That's better. Another thing I don't like about painting with water is it takes a long time to dry. And well, I guess that's not the thing I don't like. I don't like the runniness. But we'll go with it. We'll see what happens. It may be useful. Now this arm, it's practically a noodle arm. Ends in a globular fist. This arm ends in a finger. Looks like I like that short finger, but I'm not gonna keep it. All right. Now let's get that orange skin tone back. Using a more saturated color because I want him to be orange, not flesh tone pink orange. I never thought of people being pink until I read Sword of the Atom, which was this wonderful thing in a miniseries by DC Comics in the early 80s, close to mid 80s, maybe 84, maybe I think it was about. Actually, it was probably 81 or 82. There's an accident, there's an explosion, and his dwarf star technology malfunctions, and he shrinks in a jungle somewhere, and he can't get back to normal. But he encounters a lost civilization of really short aliens who are... They're yellow? They're a different color, but they're short, and of course he meets an Amazon princess, and they're riding lizards. And he becomes the hero of Smallville in the jungle. It turns into a jungle epic, basically. He's found a micro world. And in the end, dwarf star technology returns and he gets giant, which is normal size. I thought it was cool. Sword of the Atom. I guess it's less jungle epic and more, well, it's like a barbarian story, but in a jungle setting. Which was part of the great thing about the barbarian genre. You could take it anywhere. You could take it into the jungle, you could take it into the desert. You can do the same thing with space. Speaking of space and swords, let me make a note. I want to talk about that space and swords. Okay, I'm sorry. This won't be edited out in the final edit because there will be no final edit. I don't have the time. Back to this. Sword of the Atom was great. I don't really remember anything out of it, but I saved it for decades. Well, 1 decade. And then when I burnt all my comics when I was 24, I guess it just went the way of all those. Let me see. So we got I want to put Skunk Boy in here. Skunk Boy, I guess I'm calling him. For that? Okay. Let's see if I can do it. What I love about this drawing is I love doing this where the arm, instead of having an arm, it just looks like a piece of paper flat folded over. I shouldn't be painting on top of my painting. So we got, he's sort of like this, something like this. He's here. Can't even see this, I'm sorry. This can't be interesting if you can't even see it. It's the trouble with lighting. Lighting is problematic with white, which is why that math podcast series of YouTube videos they always use brown butcher paper, because it's as soon as you light white, everything else is gone. Forget it. The reason the skunk is important to me, I had a dream about a whole room full of skunks in cages, like chicken coops. And, well, I had it the night after I'd seen a skunk. A skunk visited me. Okay, I want to make this better. A skunk visited me at one of the churches I work at, that I do work for, and he was sort of giving me the danger signal, but there was something wrong with him. Instead of lifting his arse, it was dragging low, and he was walked in a big circle, came towards me, and then went off and under our porch. I think he's still there. I haven't smelled him though, which is weird. You would think you would smell a skunk. All right, let me see. Okay, so it's like this. And that night I dreamt of him. I dreamt of that big chicken coop thing of skunks. And it turns out, okay, knuckle, 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 knuckle. If you look at your knuckles, they go in directions, right? Like a triangle. There's a small triangle there. And I'm having trouble with this hand for some reason. I'm being too persnickety about it, I guess. So I went to my shrink and I told him about the dream, and he brings out this book that he has about power animals, and he's like, hey, look at this. Skunk medicine. First 5 words. Skunk medicine. Go ahead and laugh. So there's something about skunks that... And I wanted him to... This drawing of the skunk to not be dopey. He's a predator, but he's a soft predator. That is, he eats... Skunks eat slugs and things in your garden that are undesirable. And he's got little round ears, which is a little disappointing. I like the big wolfish ears, but anyway. Skunk medicine, go ahead and laugh. The thing about skunks is that they're one of the most ferocious creatures in the natural kingdom because nobody wants anything to do with them. I shouldn't say ferocious, I should say most powerful. They scare anybody away. Scare away a grizzly bear. Tear gas, baby! You can't mess with the tear gas. And they're distinct. Oh my God, this is horrible. They're distinctly marked so that you can't miss them. So this is more like this. This hand is too big. All right. Some artists can draw things twice. I wish I was one of them. Because I like this drawing a lot, but I don't seem to be able to. Okay, well, you're experiencing my frustration here. I don't mean to pass that on to you, but it's there, Daddy-O. Let's use a bigger brush. Okay, so there's something happening in this scene. My original drawing, I don't have the... I don't have the skunk's legs, but we're putting them in this painting because the skunk should have legs in a painting. What's in the background, I wonder? I love the guy with the big old face. Oh, here's something that's going wrong. Okay, let's break out the white. Forget-me-not. Here's something I There's a podcast I listen to sometimes called New World Witchery, and it's hard to listen to because they don't stick to the subject, and they enjoy each other's company, but it's kind of not that interesting to me listening to their banter. But they have some good ideas. One time they mentioned the spell "She loves me not," done with a daisy, and I thought that was interesting. The fact that you would think of that as a spell, kind of mystical. What can you say? See, yeah, because his belly's got to come out. All right, there it is. Better correction. And then this has to go in. Okay. What was I talking about? I don't know. It's out there. You can New World Witchery. Give it a shot. I actually recommend it. It's enjoyable. It's one of my, let's see, third tier. If my top tier podcasts are my favorite ones, and the ones I also like, it's down there. All right, Team Cave Dweller, guess what time it is? It's anime time. I love it so much. I can't get enough. I don't know why. I don't know what it is about Japanese. Well, I do know what it is. The thing about animation is that you can make anything believable. And the animation doesn't have to be great. Whereas, if you want, here's an example. They can't do what they can do in animation in live action just because of the cost. When they created Krusty the Clown, they thought of it as being a live action sequence in The Simpsons, and Groening was writing a scene where there was a beaver that was always eating his house. That was going to be one of the shticks. There was a beaver eating Krusty's house. And the producer's like, what? Do you have any idea how much that would cost, getting a beaver? But, in a cartoon they can do anything and everything, and they do. So, more freedom to tell a story. The fantasy, the sci-fi, I love all that. But in Japanese, the way they talk is so enthralling. It's like music. The highs and lows and the paces that speed up and slow down. Americans just don't have that range of expression in their voice. And if we do, it's not that interesting. Maybe it's the exoticness of Japan that is so alluring to me. But I also love the imaginative stories. So I'm addicted to watching these, and I can't get enough. And I love the theme songs. I love how they hodgepodge genres together with their music in the theme songs. I can't get enough of that. It's just the best thing in the world. I'm telling you, it's the best thing in the world. And Netflix has latched onto this and is commissioning series of anime. And one that I highly recommend is Devilman Crybaby. It's very interesting. It's a more mature level, but it's not that much more mature. It's just like middle school genre with sex and extreme violence. It's got a better ending though. Another one I like is Beaststars. It's Beaststars. It's like one word run together. It's about a high school theater club in a world where everybody is an animal. And the animation is wonderful. Because they're animals, to make it believable, well, maybe not to make it believable, but it adds to the believability of the piece, is how fluid and human the movements are. I've never seen animation like this where there's a scene where one of the characters is dragging another across the floor, and it's just like watching a guy drag another guy across the floor, and roommates by his shoulders. First episode ends with a wolf about to devour a bunny rabbit. The bunny rabbit is a schoolgirl, the wolf is a schoolboy, and they're in their school uniforms, and it's illegal to eat another animal. It's illegal for a carnivore to show his teeth in public in this world. And all the rules and intricacies of what this society would be like, right? There's rodents running around in school uniforms, and there's a scene where somebody almost steps on something. They're like, watch out, watch what you're doing. So by episode 3 or 4, there's a red deer who's the lead. He's the star of the school, and he has the lead role. He has to play a hero, big fighting, tough guy hero. And then the evil enemy is played by a tiger, and the tiger, of course, has to take a fall. The deer breaks his ankle. A wolf takes his place, and the tiger's like, yes, this is great. We can really get into it now. I can't fight like this with a red deer. And the night they're going to go on, the tiger has a vial of rabbit blood. And of course, the wolf has fallen in love with this rabbit that he's about to devour at the end of episode 1, and then it doesn't happen. He runs into her later. She doesn't recognize him. He's like entranced by her. And he starts a fight on stage with the tiger. I'll never forgive you. I'll never forgive you, right? He's never professed his love to the bunny rabbit, but he's always trying to hide his strength, and the complexity of trying to hide your strength in a world where strength is frowned on. It's wonderful. And the tiger wants to display his strength. That he thinks that the display of strength between the tiger and the wolf will be a great show on stage, and it becomes a real fight, and it's not a great show. People don't love it until the red deer comes out. He's on his broken ankle, and he comes out to break out the fight, and he does it as if it's part of the play. He saves the show. There's a standing ovation when he appears, and the tiger is just crestfallen. It was his big chance, and he got in a fight, and even though he saved the scene from the wolf who wrecked it, he was still taken down by the red deer. The red deer throws him off the stage, says, I know your sins, because he saw the vial of rabbit's blood. I know your sins. You'll never be part of this again. But he says it as if it's part of the play. Oh, it's the best! Does that make any sense? This is why I love it. The movement is great, and they also incorporate different kinds of animation. There's obviously computers involved, but it's the fluidity is sometimes broken up by jagged lines and heavy line work, but the intro is done with stop motion animation. It's great! Highly recommended. Beaststars. I love it. And I'm watching, simultaneously with that, I'm watching Gurren Lagann for a second time, and it's been edited by Netflix, or it's like an American edit, or it's like not as good, but it's still really great. I recommend them both. Now then, back to this painting that you can't barely even see. It needs a background, and it needs something to make it darker so that you can see it a little bit better. Taking notes. I'm sorry. I wish I had a producer that would take notes, and we could write this down later. Skunk Boy. I was just making black right away. I was just making black. Last night on Instagram, I was watching a Hoodoo Moses discussion with another Hoodoo practitioner. They were talking about the spirits. You just can't jump in. They were talking about specifically, not Power John. John, what's its name? It's very prominent in Voodoo and Hoodoo. Because he was based, Prince John, he was based on a real guy. And he became a god, or a saint, a Hoodoo saint. Just like most legendary figures, how the progression of legend, you become immortalized. Why am I adding this orange? Yeah, I don't know, might as well. Prince John, I'm stuck on this name of John. What is it? There's a root named after it, and then they do root work. Root work is sometimes what Hoodoo practitioners are called, root workers, and they literally work with roots of plants. I always thought it was like roots of ancestry, which is involved, but it's not. It's plants. I forgot why I brought it up. Oh, they were talking about spirits. You're meeting your spirits, and this is why you work with your ancestors, because your ancestors are like, they make the introductions for you to the spirits. Just like in real life, you'll never get an audience with the head of national coffee outlet chain, but you can go to the local cafe and talk to the barista. Unless maybe somebody in your family knows the head of the chain and they can take you on a golf outing with them or introduce you. Same with spirits. And if a spirit doesn't like you, he just doesn't like you. It's not about good or evil or anything personal. It's just, hey, some people you just don't get along with. There's plenty of guys I've worked with. In fact, most people I get along with them, but I don't want to spend time with them. There was a guy I used to spend hours with in a truck, and he would just make noises and then look at me and go, yeah? And somehow I was supposed to respond to that. How do you respond to you just made a noise, you just hooted for no reason? What am I supposed to do? Is this some is it a Puerto Rican thing, or is it a boxing thing? He was a boxer. Or is it like some man thing that I never picked up on when I was a kid and never had any friends in school? That happens to me a lot. Social interactions I don't always understand. Oh, skunk boy's looking like a skunk. I gotta put something in the background before all my time is wasted. Do I have a background image? Let's look at my Linda Berry journal here. Let me see what we got, if I can find a background image that I just half-assed in here. We got what's this? Oh, yeah, that's a good one. What does that mean? Let me put that in there. This is a book I have this is a picture. This is a picture of my apartment, and there's a book on one of those things, like a lectern with an eagle. I actually don't own anything like that, but I don't know why it's in here. Oh, it's because I was writing a book called Ultimus, and it was an important book. Let's put that. I don't know if I want to do that. I gotta put some kind of background in here. My apartment. Weird. Why am I putting my apartment in here? I don't know. I once had my buddy, my lawyer, I met him through a church that was meeting down the block from my apartment, right? Actually, before I even got this apartment. And this should go like let's go like that. I guess it should be like this. And I want to have the edge there. Bookshelf back here. I moved my bookshelf recently. I put it in my meditation room. I have a meditation room now. It used to be in my bedroom. And before that, it was the white room. All my white stuff was in there. All my white books on a white bookshelf. I have a big old table here now. Oh, here. Let's Oh, now I can't. I was just looked straight into a light. Now I can't even tell if it worked. So I just have a blotch in front of my face. What do we got here? All right, 45 minutes. We're about done. I just want to sketch in this table. I was hoping to get more done, but I'm always hoping to get more done. That's just the nature of making things. It's the nature of doing any project. It's got short legs. It's got a thing under here. Any project, it takes more time to do than you initially believe it will. And there's some paintings here. I guess I'm going to have to paint those paintings. There's a painting here. It's a big fluffy chair right here. I wish I could get rid of that big fluffy chair. I put it on Facebook Marketplace, but I'm not getting any takers. There's something here. There's a table here. Glass table. And it's piled with junk. Full of junk. I'm not going to put in the junk just now. So I should put in his feet. I really like these wonky feet that this guy's got. He's got I wonder if this is a part of me. Well, technically, it's always a part of you. When everything you create is a part of you. But now that I put him in my apartment, I've got to really consider that. It's a possibility. Like I was trying to tell you, the skunk is part of me. Oh, his face goes down like this. All right, Team Cave Dweller, we have it. There it is. That is 45 minutes of art. This has been the Skrauss with 45 minutes of art. Live and learn, Team Cave Dweller. Live and learn. Live and learn how to be awesome, how to do things wonderfully, and how to be great, and how to love anime because it's so imaginative and yeah, I'm telling you. I think what I love it is it's because it's Japanese culture, and I find Japanese culture, the way people interact in fiction anyway, on TV, on cartoons designed for middle school children, it's more pleasant. I want to be around these people. But when I look at shows made by Americans, it's just everybody smart-mouthing everybody and being sassy. I hate it. I hate listening to them. Terrible English, terrible sentences. Everybody's in everybody's face. It's annoying. And also, it's not that the stories aren't that interesting. Let's put some walls in there behind him. As long as I got it, I'll just block in some color before I quit for the afternoon, for the morning. I'm going to use my super big brush to block in this color, and I'm using yellow. Yellow is bright, it's not dark. I can go over it with another color later if I need to. And use the rest of this orange, I guess. Put some white in there. What happens if I do that? Use up the rest of the junk on my palette here. Yeah, I like that. You know, I don't think I've ever used a lot yellow mixed with white on anything. I can't eat. It's weird that I would have never mixed yellow with white. Why have I not mixed yellow with white? That's weird, isn't it? You figure you're a painter. So what? Why would that have never come up? Man, that's bizarre. Chair. I'll do that couch behind the skunk, which is green. I'm going to use this very bright green just because I don't want to mix anything. I'm sorry, I'm taking up your valuable time. Yeah, I just can't stop right now. I just can't stop. I'm on a roll. The carpet is going to be blue because it's blue. It's kind of a crummy institutional office blue. They put an office carpet in this apartment right before I moved in. It reeked of outgassing carpet plastic. It had that new carpet smell. It doesn't anymore. Now it smells like dog and food particles until I vacuum. It doesn't smell like dog anymore. Dog is dead. Ultramarine blue. I'm going to mix it with this green that's already down there. See, I'm going crazy. I'm using these dark colors don't cover up well, and I shouldn't be using them. Mix it with a lot of water and see what happens. Yeah, that's really dark. How's your lockdown going? I can't pretend that I care. I don't know you. And if I do know you, then I do care. I hope it's productive. I hope you're getting things done and exploring new ideas and getting stronger. Doing those daily workout routines that you don't do normally. Doing them because you got nothing better to do. My life during lockdown has almost not changed at all. The only thing is that it's easier for me to avoid alcohol because right when the temptation hits to go to the liquor store, they're closed. It's pretty great. So that means my habit of drinking alcohol when I'm bored at night is being overcome. Okay, so gotta add some more goddess blue. It's beginning to look like a room, isn't it? I'm being too precise. I'm just roughing this in right now. Whoops, that's really bright. I'm just roughing this in. I shouldn't be worrying about... There, that's better. Oops. Never paint on top of another painting. I'm just roughing this in, so I shouldn't be worrying about details like staying in the lines. Actually trying to... Oh, okay, so that's the blue now. For the edges. I never leave a white edge, except on paintings that I'm going to frame. And I never frame paintings. Who can afford that? Well, anyway, skunk is one of my skunk medicines, one of my power animals. Which means, I was saying, to recap, skunks drive people away. Skunk people drive people away, drive unlike people away. But people that are like the skunk are attracted to the skunk, right? Skunks have friends. Are you one of my skunks? Are you a skunk too? Maybe we'll get along. Unfortunately, people are a little more complex, so you could be a skunk in a different area than me. I don't know. Well, here it is. Signing off, team. I love you. I love you more than skunk itself. And this has been Skrauss Speaks. You listen.